Alright, this is COVID log number 3, and I'm still working on it. As you can see, I only solved 12 problems this week, but that was because I landed on a pretty hard topic for my Code Forces training, and that was DP. Yeah, it's pretty hard because there's a lot of nuances, and there's also a lot of things that you have to know in order to be able to do your states and transitions correctly. And a lot of this just comes from having more insights into how you can solve the problem. And also, you need to be able to see the state before you do it. And it's a lot of things. Like combinatorics and geometry are relatively easier than DP. And I think that's why I haven't progressed as much over the week. As you can see, my calibration rating ended at 1600 and I ended the week at 1700. So not exactly there yet at significantly improving my DP level. That being said, however, I do feel that I'm getting better at it. And possibly in the next week, we'll start seeing stuff going up. And maybe going up a lot, who knows. This week, I also did 2 contests. The LeetCode one, I just did just because I didn't feel like doing Code Forces that day. And I also did a Code Forces round today. For the LeetCode one, I missed the question because I was trying to force it to be this DP problem when technically there was just a simple greedy solution for the thing. So fortunately, I didn't see that and I couldn't solve it in time. For the Code Forces round, I solved 3 out of 6, and I solved the 4th problem like 5 minutes after the contest ended, so technically it was 4 out of 6. I got a ranking of 1,000 something, which is pretty decent. It was actually my lowest ranking ever yet for all of the Code Forces contests that I did, so not bad. And if I solved the 4th one, I would have a even lower ranking. Well, like the number's lower, so even better. I would have done even better. Oh, also, here's a montage of me solving these problems. I live streamed the LeetCode one, and I also recorded myself doing the Code Forces thing, so now you get to see me solve these problems. So I'm not sure why I decided to use bit sets. Alright. Okay. Oh, that works. Okay. 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 Oh, that works. Okay. Wow, okay. After just compiling this, I noticed how much I say okay. It's pretty interesting. Over the week, I've also observed that my implementation skills have gotten better. I was able to write more concise code, and also when I submit code now, it less often gets a wrong answer verdict, and more often than not, it gets accepted. So that's pretty cool. As long as my solution was right to begin with. And also, when I look at problems now, I actually get more insights. Like, I see things in the problem that I haven't seen before. It's like before you knew how to read words or form sentences, if you looked at a book, all you saw was just random characters or scribbles. But then once you learn how to read and stuff, boom, those words and sentences suddenly have meaning and they have structure and logic. And you begin to understand and appreciate English for what it is. I think the same thing is happening to me with coding. Before, I would just see parameters, constraints, and what you have to do. But now I'm taking that a step further and seeing more in depth. And this has allowed me to solve problems that I couldn't have before. And I think that's one of the key things to getting better at programming or any skill in general. You gotta see things that other people can't see. Yeah, that sounded pretty deep, honestly. Here's some other thoughts that I had. I noticed that DP problems, when you look at other people's solutions and stuff in order to improve, it's actually kind of hard to understand what their solution is because they could have a totally different state or DP transitions, and you wouldn't be able to figure that out just by looking at it. Unless they obviously wrote comments and stuff, but that's pretty rare. The other doubt that I'm sometimes having now is the fact that I started practicing for USACO and IOI a bit too late. Many people on Codeforces and past people who have gotten into IOI started coding when they were in middle school or even elementary school. And even the top coder of Codeforces and probably all of CP right now, Tourist, he started coding when he was 8. And I started coding when I was 15. So, I didn't start coding when I was 15, but I started actually training last year. So, that's like a 7-year difference. And now I've got to make up that difference in these few months. So it's gonna be intense, I can assure you that. But I'll do my best and hopefully everything will work out in the end. This has been a pretty short video, but there's not that much else to talk about. So see you next week.